AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
With the state of today's economy, it is more important than ever to invest in products that last for years to come. As the seasons shift and get cooler, make sure your closet is stocked with durable layers that stand the test of time from American Giant. American Giant's clothes work harder and are wearable season after season. Their greatest hoodie ever made is made of the highest quality materials that are cut and sewn right here in the United States. So you're investing right back into your local community. Choosing American Giant means taking a stand for American manufacturing and hardworking Americans, something other mega corporations don't care about. From fleece to knit, all in a range of colors for versatile daily wear, American Giant delivers everyday pieces designed for everyday life. Feel the difference of quality made-to-last clothes from American Giant. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at american-giant.com with code STAPLE20.
Creativity, and also sitting down with them, depending on how intense, right, or their resistance is, and figuring out what's most important to them. Because sometimes it's not about the change, it's about what they think that they're going to lose. And even though they know it's something really positive as the outcome, they may think that they're losing time, right? They might have to spend more time doing.
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with Lopez.
This episode is brought to you by ERC, Employee Retention Credit. They specialize in getting money back for your business. Receive up to $26,000 per employee. It only takes 10 minutes to see if you qualify. Go to my website at lopezlasane.com, and on the top of my website, click the tab that says Get Money Back, or click the link in the bio. So don't wait on this. And the best part about this, it's absolutely free. No fees up front. You have nothing to lose. So go to my website or click the link in the bio and get started today. Welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secret Podcast. I'm your host. Like and share this episode. So today, I have a wonderful guest. If you ever wanted to know about how to start a company and what it takes to be much more productive with your employees, this is the episode for you. Because my special guest, she's obsessed with bringing innovative ideas in life and helping teams of people become much more creative, collaborative, and adaptable within their company. And she teaches small business owners how to, be much more productive, how to get things done. And ultimately, at the end of the day, how to have more harmony within your business as an owner, as a leader, and how to be much more productive as a team in your business. So my special guest today is Haylee Kalani McDonald. Welcome to the show. So thanks for coming on once again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Okay. So where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I lived there for most of my life growing up as a kid, so I call it home. And then just more recently, within the last 3.5-ish years, I've been down in Florida. So right now I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is all the way across the country, but it's good. I like it.
So how did you get started in marketing? Was it always something you always wanted to do, or it just happened to be something that you got involved with?
It definitely happened to be something I just got involved with. When I was growing up, I definitely don't think I ever had the thought like, I'm going to be a marketer one day, or I'm going to be in the marketing industry. One thing I did know for sure is that I wanted to be my own boss, whatever that looked like. And when I was growing up, I had a lot of different passions. I was into sports, I was into music, and those were probably my two biggest passions. So I thought, I would go into one of those areas. And I actually wound up working at a recording studio in Seattle, Washington as an audio engineer and producer. So I was in the music industry for a hot minute and absolutely loved it. I still love music to this day. But when I was working there, I had just met so many incredible people that really struggled to make any sort of living off of what they were really talented at, including myself. Like the starving artist thing was a real term. And I knew that it wasn't a matter of talent for them. It was more so a matter of positioning. Like if people just heard their music, they would fall in love with the artist and they would come back and listen to their stuff over and over again. And so that led me into, well, how do I gain attention from, social media? How do I gain attention from the marketplace, essentially? How do I build an audience? And because of that curiosity, it snowballed into marketing. It snowballed into psychology. It snowballed into, sales and all of that good stuff. And so I just decided to put in some investment and education into it and got certified in digital marketing, and then started doing a lot of done for you stuff with the circle that I already had. So I started doing it with bands, started doing it with recording studios, entertainment companies, and that was really, really helpful because I learned a lot through experimentation. So throughout doing that, I had built, a fairly good expertise and a good client base, but I was also frustrated at the same time because when you're doing the done for you stuff, people hand you a task and then you go do that task. And I was like, okay, I know enough now about marketing to see that if they don't have the right strategy, the stuff that they're telling me to do, like the email campaigns, like the advertisements, like the social media posts, those won't be nearly as effective if they don't have the right strategy behind it. And so that's when I shifted into the world of consulting and got much more niche about how I worked with clients. And that's really where I'm at now, is helping them with the innovation and the collaboration process, more specifically with marketing teams, so that they can leverage better innovation to serve their clients better, so they can also, in turn, make more money for themselves and the company.
Yeah, I always said talent is overrated. It's only but so much one person can do. It doesn't matter how great they are, how much talent they have, how much skills they have. If you don't, it takes a team if you want to go big, if you want to do something in a major way, So being in the music business, what was your job? Was it mainly in the studio or what?
Yeah, I was in the studio. So I was the person behind the board with the switches, with the knobs, and then also the person setting up the mics, placing them, picking out which mic is going to sound best and where in the room. And it was super shut down. Oh my gosh. So hopefully
no, it's all good.
Editing can fix that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you were talking about what you were doing in the studio.
Yes. So in the studio, I was the one behind the switches, getting everything together in the actual studio room as well. So placing the mics, picking out what would sound good. And it was just a ton of fun. Like, we would have all different types of artists come in. We'd have folk artists. It was Seattle, so we'd have a lot of punk, grunge, rock artists. But the studio itself was amazing because they also ran a education program, and I think they still do run it out of the studio. And so you could be a student there and learn hands-on faster than you would anywhere else, and work with actual artists really quickly in a world-renowned studio. So it was a really cool opportunity, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I miss it, actually.
Yeah, I was around people that knew other people that were in the music. Like, being in Atlanta, you run into a lot of that. And I realized that a lot of people, a lot of rappers, singers, whatever type of music they're in, they don't know how to promote themselves. And they really don't. They really don't know how to. Now, they have the talent. They know how to do whatever they know how to do. But when it comes to like just promoting themselves, they do not. That I was a little shocked when I learned that.
Yeah. I think it's when you're so talented in one area, like, the odds of you just picking up another skill, because marketing really is a skill, and it comes more naturally to others. And just like it is a skill, you're able to learn it. But if you don't actively pursue learning it, then there's gonna be a learning curve when you try and promote yourself. And it's also a weird thing. Like, it's not necessarily natural to just promote yourself and promote this thing that you've created, but it is more natural to share it. And I think that if you learn that it's natural to share it, then you can bridge that gap in marketing where people say, well, I need to kind of sell myself. It's like, no, you just need to share the already cool stuff that you're doing. And the quote that comes to mind, I think it was Ryan Serhant who made this up, I'm not sure. But people don't like being sold to, they like shopping with friends. Yeah. So if you can be that friend who's like, yeah, I just made this sick music video, do you want to see it? Or this is the process that I went through to make it. It took us like 5 weeks to do it, but I'm super proud of it and I think it looks really great. That gets other people excited too. So if you can learn that sharing is a part of the marketing process, I think it makes marketing easier if you do wind up learning that as a skill.
Yeah, and I always say that people that have, a service business, or could be somebody that's in the music business, they kind of have an advantage in some ways because they can kind of create a persona. I mean, if they want to. Now, some people take it too far. Some people take it too far sometimes, but they can kind of create a persona versus if it's a big business, it's kind of like, it's most of the time there's nobody speaking. We don't know who we're buying from. All we know is we're buying from, I don't know, Bank of America, but we don't really know anybody behind Bank of America. So sometimes I think it's easier, if you have a service or whatever you have going on sometimes, So,
yeah.
So how did you know that you could even teach marketing while you were in the studio, just doing your job and everything?
I don't think I knew it at the time. I think at the time I was really good at making a connection with people in the studio, and I felt pretty good about, even through school and growing up, being able to resonate with people on a one-on-one basis. And I knew that was a skill that I had, but I don't think that I knew that I would be able to teach. But when I was growing up, I would teach my friends, we'd go play soccer, and they've never played soccer, but we're just doing it for fun. And so I would, in a sense, kind of teach them. Or, we'd be playing a new board game and a few other people didn't know what it was. So in a sense, I'd have to teach them. Or a new artist will come into the studio and it's their first ever time. You kind of have to teach them what it's like to be in this small booth, talking into a mic, hearing yourself on the other end, and then singing with a little bit of background music. And so you in some ways I would teach other aspects of skills or other situations where I would teach people. And then eventually when I did get into the marketing, because at first it was all done for you, I would still have meetings with the business owner or with the manager, and I would say, look, this is where we're at right now. This is where you said you would like to be. Here's how I think that we'll get there. And then it was my job to articulate why I think that would work. And I think that was part of the teaching process. And so by articulating how we would get there and the strategies that we would use to get there, once it clicked for them, I started slowly but surely realizing, like, okay, they're getting it, I'm getting it, we're painting the picture of the marketing strategy as a whole, and it was just a continuum of that type of practice that led me to eventually be like, I think I could work alongside teams. And at one point I had started a business out in Dayton, Ohio with a couple of friends that I had actually also met on the internet. And it was for creatives specifically, and it was a warehouse called HQ DYT, HQ Dayton. And we had a team. So it was me and like 6 other people, and other people would come and go and volunteer and stuff. So working with them also taught me that I can teach. And that was a really humbling experience as well, because when you have multiple different people working on the same project, you've got multiple opinions, you've got multiple perspectives, you've got a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And so that was a humbling experience to learn how to take those moving parts and make them mesh together in the best way possible.
Yeah, that's good. It sounds like the more you taught, the more confidence you got along the way. That's what it sounds like,
Definitely. I think that experience is the greatest teacher.
Yeah, it can also be painful too, sometimes.
Oh yeah. I definitely failed a lot. There was a lot of times where either people didn't get what I was saying or didn't agree, or there was conflict, and coming together was not super easy, but it paid off, right? And we had mutual respect for each other the entire time. But was it like pretty, as in super smooth? No. Like tripping over your words, saying the wrong things. Like it's a learning process for sure.
Almost never a straight line. Doesn't. No. That's in I don't know, maybe the movies or something. But how did you I guess persuade people that's been doing something for so long, even though it ain't working that well? How do you persuade them that, hey, maybe you should add this to that, and let's test it out and measure it and see what happens?
Yeah, that is tough. I think that there's varying degrees of how attached people are to a certain viewpoint or process, right? Like if you've been doing one thing the same way for, some of these business owners, 15 or 20 years, like that's become a habit. And so we're saying, okay, now we have to break a habit, and breaking a habit that you're not even really conscious of is quite difficult. And so I think the first thing is, for me, understanding that not everybody is persuadable, because they are so set in the way that they do things that nobody can convince them. And so that's like, all right, those people excluded, what about the rest of the people who at least know that the current situation that they're in is not one that they want to stay in? And that's where I would start is, okay, you know that this situation is not where you want to be. And are you open and willing enough to see the different paths that we can take to get there? Because the path that I would take to the same goal, so we're looking at the same thing, we're going to wind up in the same place. I might use this path, but you would prefer to use this one. And so as long as we're getting in the same place, I, as the consultant, have to see, okay, how many different ways can we end up in that end place and to reach your goal? How many different ways can we get there? And that takes a lot of just brainstorming and creativity, and also sitting down with them, depending on how intense, right, or their resistance is, and figuring out what's most important to them. Because sometimes it's not about the change, it's about what they think that they're going to lose. And even though they know it's something really positive as the outcome, they may think that they're losing time, right? They might have to spend more time doing XYZ, or they're going to lose energy because they're going to have to learn how to do XYZ, or they might have to fire someone and they don't want to do that, even though it's probably better for their business.
Yeah.
So it's like figuring out what they're resistant to, and then uncovering kind of the emotional attachment to what those things are, and seeing if those are removable to get you to where you want to go.
Yeah. A lot of companies would like to change, but they said, hey, that's going to take millions of dollars. Because they've been, I'll give you an example. I met a guy, he was a realtor at the time in Atlanta. And I think he was working for, I don't remember which company it was, but he was saying that they don't do nothing online. Nothing. Everything is, you show up at a walkthrough, at look at a house or a property, whatever it may be, and they'll do workshops every once in a while. And I think you have to be a realtor, you have to get all the certifications and everything, and you have to basically, you got your fees, and you have to stick with the company for 2 years, like 18 to 24 months on average, right? He said after that you can do whatever then. But he said if they were to apply like online strategy or anything outside of what they're already doing, they have to spend millions of dollars, plus they would have to change the whole business model. I said, oh my God. So a lot of these companies want to change, but it's just going to cost too much. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think it's weighing logically and figuring out the numbers of like, okay, is it going to cost me more to do this thing, or is it going to cost me more to not do this thing?
Yeah.
And calculating that, because I think a lot of times we mentally like weigh the risk. We're like, well, I think it's probably going to be profitable, or no, I don't think it's going to be profitable. And regardless, you're not wrong or right, because you have no idea. And until you actually run the numbers, like we have no clue whether that's actually going to be a profitable decision to change the entire company and spend millions of dollars on doing that. Will we make 2x, 3x, 4x, 10x on that investment? I don't know, unless you know the numbers. But that's probably one of the biggest resistors to change within companies, is just like, okay, how much is that going to cost me? And am I comfortable enough where I'm at and I'm in that complacent space to where shifting and spending a lot of time, money, energy in this sector, like, do I really need to do that? And it's just like, it's very, it's a very emotional decision, to be honest. I think that a lot of company executives and leaders are just like, well, it's working good enough, so why change it? And it's like, do you want to stay in good enough, or do you want to push the limits and say this can be exceptionally good. And for some people, like, good enough is good enough, and no judgment whatsoever to that, because if you're happy, you're happy.
Yeah, and I was saying to him, because he was telling me they have a 80% turnover.
Oh,
like
from clients or like in the brokerage?
Yeah. As far as races go, within 6 months, they got an 80% drop off. So I said, so basically, y'all just running through people. He said, yeah, but and you brought up a good point. A lot of these people have jobs. They're not the founders or a lot of times they're not even CEOs. And even the CEO is going to be less likely to make any major change unless he can see it.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation. Sometimes. So what's your ideal prospect? What type of companies you usually work with?
Typically service-based companies. So that can be creative agencies. Any marketing team, right? So creative agencies is like one of the first that I typically work with. But service-based is the other aspect to that. So real estate brokerages, things of that nature. Usually small to medium-sized companies, marketing teams that have anywhere from 3 to 20 people on the team.
So why did you take the group route as far as teaching groups of people instead of because I know a lot of consultants, they'll say, hey, I just teach companies how to start campaigns online or offline. And, they'll meet up twice a month. They'll give them the game plan, the roadmap, so to speak. And that's it. But they don't deal with their employees. So why did you choose to take the work as a group instead?
The biggest reason was that I find that groups and teams specifically, if they're just given something and the person who gave it to them is not around because what I'm giving to them is something probably new, right? Like if they're already doing the things that I would suggest, then they don't need my help. And so if I am giving them something, it's something that they haven't incorporated into their team before. It's not something that they've incorporated into their daily workflow before. It's not something that their managers and their team have connected on before. And so by saying this is your homework assignment, if we go back to school, if we just give out the homework assignment, half the class will do it and half the class might half-ass it, and then half the class won't do it, or whatever percentages work out however way they work out. And I think it's the same thing with teams. And so the biggest thing for me is I want every client I have to be as successful as humanly possible. And I believe that the only way to make sure that they're super successful is that I am there implementing these tools, these strategies, these resources with them. And I also think that creates a much tighter relationship, because a lot of what I do is collaboration, right? And so if I'm saying go collaborate yourselves, they're gonna be like, great, I'm just gonna continue doing the same thing I've always been doing. But if I teach them how we all collaborate together, and I learn more about the individuals on the team and the managers and the executives, what's important to them, how they view the world and how they view their work, that makes it a lot easier to, when it does come to implementing the strategy or implementing the tool, for them to not only want to implement it and be kind of eager because they know that it'll be beneficial, but also to be less confused about it too. Like, I don't know how to do this if I don't have that one-on-one help. So that's the main reason why I work with teams. And I also really believe in, the best word to use, I guess, is collective intelligence. Like, I think that the best innovation comes from working in groups. And so I wanted to be part of that group because I know it'll help my creativity flourish. And if my creativity is able to be better, then I can serve my clients better. And it's like a ripple effect from then on.
Yeah. So I know you meet people from time to time and they'll be like, hey, I got this business, or I'm this, I'm that. How do I get leads? How do I get my phone to ring? How do I sell my product? I know you get that a lot. How do you respond to them?
I would first say, what are your inputs and your outputs? And if you already have an influx of people, reaching out to you, you probably wouldn't be asking like, how do I get leads? And so if somebody's asking, how do I get leads? Typically it's an indicator that they are in somewhat of the beginning stages of building their business, their book of business.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say is, because people buy from you and you work with people, even if you are a product or you sell products, like you're selling products to people, you have to make connections with those people. So the first thing is make as many connections every single day as humanly possible. And those are your inputs. Your outputs will be the conversations that you have with those connections. So it doesn't matter if it's in-person networking, doesn't matter if you're canvassing the neighborhood, doesn't matter if you're going business to business downtown, doesn't matter if you're reaching out on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, doesn't matter if you're doing ads. Like, start conversations with as many people as humanly possible. That is how you go out and get leads. And then eventually, because that process teaches you a lot along the way of what is important to those leads and who actually winds up signing up, then you can start to follow the data on, okay, these specific types of people, not just demographics, but psychographics, like what they believe in, are the people that pay me the fastest, pay me the most, and I enjoy working with the most. And then you double down on only those, making connections with those types of people. Then you won't have to reach out to as many. So if you're already reaching out to a lot of people and you're like burnt out because of it and you're still getting the same results, then it's like, okay, look at the people who you've worked with the most and duplicate that audience only. Then instead of 100 people a day, you can reach out to 50 people a day, and the fruit of that labor will be the same, if not double or more, right? Depending on how much you're really getting into that. Those are the two biggest things, is as many connections as possible. And then once you have a better idea of who that person is, doubling down on making connections with only those types of people for your business.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Because building relationships is very, very important. And it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. Because people always, every once in a while, there's people talk about cold calling. I don't know what to say to those people. I've never done it. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what to say to those people, because every once in a while people say, hey, I got a list of leads of people and their phone numbers, and they'll just get on the phone and cold call them. And, hey, what should I say? I have no idea. I've never done it before. I was taught have people prospect me. I bring the market to me. I wasn't taught to cold call and do all this extra curricular activities, and most of the time it doesn't work because people don't know you. So how do you how do I say this? What have you found that's been proven to work within groups as far as being productive and getting things done?
The most effective thing is probably the systems that they already have in place, like improving those, or creating systems to reduce friction. And by friction, I mean the amount of conversations that you're having that are unnecessary, or the amount of little tasks that you're doing that could either be automated or can be done all at one time. I keep thinking of Atomic Habits, but like you rise to the level of your systems, and that is definitely the biggest indicator of productivity. Is if your systems are falling short and you're having a bunch of meetings but nothing's really happening after those meetings, or like the level of work that's getting done does not rise after meetings, then like why are you having meetings? And so one thing that we do a lot is really focusing on workshops. I'm obsessed with workshops. I think they're super effective. And replacing meetings with workshops. And that will reduce the amount of time that we're in meetings, and then will also make that time that we are way more effective. Because what we start with is gathering all the potential problems and solutions, voting on what we think is going to be the most effective ones, and then creating solutions for them, and then delegating them all in one session. So it's like we started with an idea and we ended with a step-by-step tangible action plan delegated to each team member in sometimes 30 minutes versus an hour-long meeting where we're talking about God knows what. I've been in meetings that were like 90 minutes and I have no idea what happened after. So it's different per company, and I'm sure that some companies are really effective in their meetings, but regardless, if you can shorten that time and just get from point A to Z as fast as possible by creating a better framework for what each time block is focused on, then that will make the biggest difference. So incorporating workshops into your systems, typically your meeting systems, is very, very beneficial for productivity. I've noticed one of the biggest indicators. The other thing is, because of that, you reduce a lot of that burnout, because a lot of the burnout just comes from having to make so many decisions, and they're small decisions, right? But they're decisions nonetheless. So if we can reduce the amount of decisions that you have to make, because we're making them all together in a very systemized way, you're able to free up that brain space essentially and get more of your own work done in a day than you might have on another day where you weren't able to, just go through that workshop process, spit out the thoughts, and move on with a to-do list ready to go.
Gotcha. So how long have you been online?
What do you mean? Because I'm a zillennial, so I've been online since online was a thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. But
Yeah.
as far as marketing, in the marketing space.
Marketing space, 5 years, just about 5 years.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, it's changed. It's changed a little bit. The online world has changed a little bit since. So I've been online 15 years. That's a long time. But I remember back in the day, things were very different back in the day. There were no celebrities online. I remember when celebrities started coming online, and rappers and entertainers and everything. And I think back, because people ask me, hey, do I think, is it easier today versus when I first came on? I always say today is much easier because you have access to more resources and everything. And back then, first off, you couldn't do this. How we're talking, you could not do this. This was almost impossible. And you didn't have, at least to my knowledge, you didn't have digital cameras back then. You had cameras, but they wasn't like it is now. So it was very difficult. So But even if you go 5 years back, I think today is still much easier. What do you think to get started?
I think it is easier in many ways and psychologically harder because, like you said, the resources are there. The education is immense, and the amount of free education. You could go start a 6-figure business for free and you be really successful. Now, the psychological part of it, though, I think is much harder. And so that's the only big difference I think there is, because there's way more, there's more platforms, there's more competition, there's more saturation in every single niche. There's a lot of stuff going on. And when things get super popular, that's when you start to rely on like tactics and what I should and shouldn't do, what I should say, how I should say things. And that can be psychologically taxing, because 9 times out of 10, I think what stops people from not only starting, but continuing, and then continuing to push through problems that they face, because they're gonna face them, is like analysis paralysis. Like, I don't know what to do. Well, your answer, you probably already know the answer, one. And if you really don't know the answer, you could probably find the answer for free in like 5 minutes on Google or on TikTok, right? Because now that's like our other search engine, basically, or YouTube, right? So I think, to answer your question simply, it is only harder because mentally we think that it's harder. We think that it's not going to be easy. And it's not, right? But it is simple. And if we just break down the simplicity of it, then it will seem easier, and it will be more manageable to take those small bites out of as you start to build a business, or as you start to, even if you have a business and you've had it for 15 years, to learn how to market yourself online specifically.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So if people wanted to work with you, where would they go to?
You can go to Kalani Consulting, hkalaniconsulting.com. Thanks for putting that up there. That's probably the easiest way to get in touch. I'm all over LinkedIn, so I put out content every day about marketing, communication, productivity, things of that nature. And you can send me a DM there, or you can send me an email. It's the same as my website, hkalaniconsulting@gmail.com. And that is probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. The way that I typically work with clients first is we do an intake session just to see what your most important objectives are, where you actually want to go, and then trying to see if what I do is able to mesh well with that. So if you're like, oh, I don't really know what I need help with, or maybe you know exactly what you need help with, I can, with that intake session, point you in the right direction, whether that's with me or whether that's with somebody else or a different resource or tool. Regardless, point you in the right direction and get you started.
There you have it. All links will be found in the show notes. Like, share, tell me what you think. Till next time, we're out. Peace.